Hello everyone. Welcome to another stream. Happy Sunday. Hope you're doing well. Again, welcome to another stream. We're going to look into more of AI assisted coding. Why can't I say it? AI assisted coding. And we started with a couple of applications before. I've given a few talks on different applications as well when it comes to using Gemini Code Assist, when it comes to using Firebase Studio. And this is one of those streams. So we are going to try to leverage AI as much as possible to build a real world application and then see if we can use it, especially if I can use it. So I was working on one of the applications for giving away stuff for free to my friends or my community, and that's what we're going to look at today. So feel free to join in, feel free to ask any questions, and we will take it from there. I'm going to quickly check the settings as well. Okay, good. There we go. Nice. All right. So let's begin. We're gonna quickly jump into the application itself. So this is something that we were working on last time called GiveAway. People can log in, and I wasn't sure if I should start with a new application or just continue with this one. But for the sake of saving time, I think we are just going to use the existing one and not create a new one. So let's quickly see if we are having any errors or something. Okay, I don't see any errors so far. Let's see if we can still go ahead and try this out. It could also be that we just go ahead and create a new application instead of using this. So we did create with a seller dashboard, buyer dashboard, campaign creation. A lot of things are already there, and I don't want to start from scratch. So what we can do is let's try to see if this works out well. So I'll start by going to the terminal and basically ask it if everything looks good, or we can say application seems to be stuck on loading once the user logs in with Google. Let's see what it comes up with. By the way, this last 2 weeks, we actually released a couple of things, a couple of open source projects. I'm going to share some of them with you. One of them is essentially this one, which is called AI Kid Stories. Let's see if I can make it a bit bigger. So if you see the link right there, we created something called Kidlytics. Maybe we could have used a better name, but this is a tool that allows you to create AI stories, at least 3 stories for free. Um, and you can go here, you can create those stories. For example, these are some of the stories that have been created by different people, and you can see again the QR code there. So go take out your camera, and then you can basically go and read the story there. So here you can see it's a whole story about Ali, who's from Karachi and who wants to go to Mars. So it's a really good one as well. I'm going to share this story in the chat so you can also see that as well. So now it should be in the chat like this. Okay. So if you see the chat, you should be able to click this and then go there. And there's the QR code for the kids' stories. And when you go there, you can also go to GitHub. So click it, go to GitHub, and you can find the project as well. This is open sourced. So you can basically, clone this, make a copy of this. You can see 10 people have started this, including myself. And you can basically fork it, create your own version out of it. So it's completely open source and free. Okay, so let's see. What does it say? Of course, it sounds like you're encountering a common issue with Firebase redirect-based sign-in flow. When the user arrives your app from Google, the application needs to correctly process the authentication. Okay. All right, so let's try this again. I'm going to refresh now. And I'm going to clear this and then reload it. So it is doing something at least, but I want to see why is it. It's getting the tokens as well. Everything seems to be fine, but let's see. Um, Maybe we can take a screenshot and then share it with Firebase Studio. So let's say, so we copy this, we say it goes or it keeps itself on the login screen with this loading, with this loader. We'll see how much I actually have to code with Firebase Studio. And this project was created way before, so it's quite possible that it's not compatible with the latest updates to Firebase, but I would still assume that it is somehow. So we'll see. Okay, so now it fixed it, and now it can move from there. Zavar says, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam. How are you doing, Zavar? So now we have at least this flow working. So I'm going to log out and log in again and see if everything works as it should. Okay, so it comes to login, and now you can see that within like a minute, without me having to code anything, this got fixed. So that's nice. So I had this manage campaign feature, which I can go ahead and so it's loading at the moment. If you see down here, it's trying to go to the page. Okay, so now this is the campaign that I created before. 2 items in the campaign available from this, and price range was free. Then we had a copy public URL, so I can go and go to the public URL. Let's see if this opens up. Okay, so this is the campaign, and then I could go ahead and say, okay, I'm requesting this item for free. By the way, let's have a look at my email here. Okay, so I have my email here. Let's try to have an email here as well. So let's say, and last time I think we tested it with Mailinator as well, right? So I did set up Mailgun credentials here, and then we used some sort of Mailinator thing. So let's see if I go to no, get a free trial. That was the one, and then close it. And here we have test giveaway. So this is the one that we used, test giveaway at millionaire.com. I'm not really sure where we left it, but we'll see. So here I can say send request, and now it says your request has been sent, right? Now if I go here and look at the page again, I'm just going to go and refresh or reload. And here we should have one more request. So here you see we have now one request. Then we have this request that I can approve or I can delete. Mariam Khalid is asking, which tool are you using for live session? I'm using this tool called restream.io. I have a, okay, it won't let me go to the home page. But essentially I'm using this one. I'm going to share in the chat so you can see the link as well. So this is a tool. I'm using a paid subscription for this one. That is an annual subscription. But this allows me to stream in multiple platforms. So we have now this email thingy coming in. So let's try to delete this one, right? I'm going to delete this. And now it says request from here is removed. If I go to millionaire.com, I want to actually see if I get any emails here at all. So the inbox is currently empty. I think last time what I was trying to do was to implement the email sending part, but I'm not really sure if that's done. Mariam says, thanks, no problem at all. Zavar says, which AI coding tool is the best in terms of creating decent UIs for web apps in your opinion so far? I think Lovable is really good. I personally think Lovable is really, really good. I would say Firebase Studio is good as well, but all the applications that I've seen being created look like this exactly. Maybe they're improving it on their end, but I think Lovable creates really good UIs overall, like landing pages and others as well. So I would say probably Lovable. But it has been some time since I've used Lovable myself. So I would have to go back and see. If you remember, Zawar, we had this application called Quran Notes, which was this one. And I actually want to go and update this to allow creating notes where I could, um, instead of, let's say, having it for just one surah, we could mention multiple surahs instead of that. So I could go ahead here in the notes and say, okay, this is what this was about, and then I could say, for example, 115, or sorry, 1 6, and then you can see that it brings up here, which is pretty nice. This is not the feature I actually wanted it to have, but then I could also say, and I could say 2 3, and it should be able to create a note with this. And then I could go ahead and then uh, when I see the note, I don't see a single surah here, but multiple, and I could just click the note and then it shows me that particular surah. So this is one of the things that I have to do going forward. um, so yeah, and I think you were contributor as well. Yeah, you're saying yes, you were one of the contributors. Yes. So this is one of the things that I wanted to do, but I think in general all of these tools more or less have the same sort of UI implementation, because they have been trained on a lot of data from, for example, Tailwind CSS. But I think Lovable creates still some decent landing pages. Okay, so it did not really send, I think, any email to Mailinator. I'm going to close this and this. So what I'm going to do is now try to do the same thing. I will request it with my email, uh, mailinator.com, and then I should be able to receive that email in my inbox. I think I am already getting it. I think maybe not, because I remember doing the implementation, but I don't see an email yet. I don't know. I do remember implementing the email, but let's see. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna reload this. Let's quickly go ahead and say we have a request. Now I say approve. Okay, so this is approved. This is, I don't know what this is. So you can delete and you can disapprove as well. If I go back to Millinator, okay, so here you go. You can see that I receive the email. So here it says, congratulations, your request for this item, very large mousepad, is approved. And then we have, please coordinate with the seller. This is for pickup delivery. Okay. So this looks good to me, and this has been approved. Now if I reload this, should this be marked as sold or not? So here you can see it has been marked as claimed, right? So I can see the requests, but this has been marked as claimed. If I go to gift away again, reloaded, this should not be it should not be allowed to request it. Now you can see that this is not available at all, right? So yeah, I think in terms of this, it seems pretty good to me. And here do we, okay, so we also can share the phone number as well, but I'm not really sure if we can do anything with the phone number. So if I go and say, for example, Hmm, I don't want to put a number that could be seen, but I would have to try it later on. But maybe we don't really want to have phone numbers here. Maybe we could just use email. Because if we use phone numbers, then we would have to use something like Twilio or something else, while email could be just really easy to implement. And if I go to its Firestore database as well, I think I'll find the same thing. Okay, one of the things I do want to change is I want to change the claimed badge. So maybe I'll just say replace the, or make sure all badges. And I can also maybe take a quick screenshot here. Badges on the items card or have a background, so they don't blend into the image behind. And then I can share a screenshot as well. So let's see this getting fixed. And I think last time there was an issue with there was also an issue with what was it? The images, and now we are able to apply the images. So here you can see this has been fixed now. The claimed has a background instead of not having it. Just some things were changed. So if I look at here you can see that claimed, instead of having outlined, this is now secondary. And this also has been changed here as well, if you want to have a look at what changed in this regard. And I can always go back. I think I have to put myself a bit up top. Give me 1 second. Customize and put it here. So here you see I can always go back to a previous version by just clicking restore. It's that easy. Muhammad Inamur Rahman says, what if we don't refresh the page, then second person can claim it or not? That's a good point. So if you try to do the same thing, let's say we go ahead and we say, okay, this is not approved, right? So the request has been unapproved. In that case, the request is still there, but it's unapproved now. If I go to Mailinator, I think I should be able to still see an email here, or maybe it just sends the email on approval. So maybe I think we could also say, we can also confirm and ask it to send the email even when there is no or it's not approved. So here we can say, make sure the email is sent on the following. So here we can say approval of request, unapproval. Is that a word even? No. Declining of a request, deletion of, I don't think deletion should be, no, I think these are good. Because when an organizer is deleting, I think they're deleting for a specific reason, and the person should not be identified. That's what I think. But when it comes to refreshing the page, yes, I think that is something that we can implement. By default, I think this is trying to get it on from Firebase one time, which usually is done using like a snapshot or something. Okay, but the other but the other way around would be to keep having a look at the data and then using a snapshot on it, or like on change or on snapshot from Firebase, and that would keep looking at the data and then would just update it. But we could implement that on both the public page and here as well once this is done with this. Checking for error. So we have some changes done. I want to look at what changes have been done. So here, look at this. So here we have a delete request. When we have deletion going on, or when the organizer or when the owner deletes something, then we are trying to get the DB mail. If you don't remember, let me quickly show it to you as well. console.firebase.google.com. Gift away. So if you remember watching the stream last time, let's quickly have a look at how this is being done, so you can also learn from it and implement it on your own as well. So what I ended up doing when I was using this project is, there is an extension that is installed within Firebase, and it's something called something related to mail that you can find. I can try to find it. Firebase mail extension, if I remember correctly. Yeah, here. So the trigger email extension, I can share this in the chat as well. So this, when you add this extension, what Firebase allows you to do is, you can essentially have a database collection. When you add something to it, it automatically sends an email, which is really interesting. So if I go back to my project here, you're gonna see that in the Firebase, wait, why don't I have a database here? Oh, because it's not running in production. That's why. So then I can't really see it. The reason why that is because now I can't switch to the other one to show you. But right now, since this is running in development, I don't have this being running in my Cloudflare store. So it's running in a dev mode or with some dummy project. But what happens is you have this collection. Whenever you add something to it with a to, with a message, and subject and HTML, it just sends that email. So the change that we just did is this one. So whenever we delete a request, um, then it first tries to get that collection, then it adds a new document to it. So regarding your request, thank you for your interest in this, but it seems like it has been deleted. Unfortunately, the seller decided to decline your request at this time, as you can see. So all we need to do is just add this document, and then the extension handles the rest, which is awesome. Let's have a look at the route. What changed here? I don't see any changes in this particular file. Yeah, so no changes here. Request dialog has been a bit different. So here, so here you have request deleted changed to request declined. Okay, interesting. And is that a bad? Nah, it's a toast. Okay, it has been declined and they have been notified. Good. So it's also updating the messages for me as well. Failed to decline request if we are trying to decline request and it doesn't go through. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so we're gonna do two things. So let's quickly go to why can't I find here. So I'm gonna reload this first, one thing at a time. So we can see the other being available now. So I can request item. I can say test gift away at mailinator.com. So we send this request. Oh, this is a bit of a problem. It says you have already requested the item, which means I have. Aha! So this is also nice. So the request is still is there, but since we have declined it, it wasn't really removed. But maybe we should just say if it has been declined, just remove it, right? So when a request is declined, we should just remove it as well. I'm thinking actually. Okay, so we have a request that can be approved or declined, um, but it should not be deleted from the database, because if it's deleted from the database, then anyone can request again, which doesn't really make sense. So ideally, what should happen is that if someone uh, requests on a particular item, then it should come and appear here. The organizer should be able to say accepted or decline, and whatever decision they take gets updated in the database, but the requests document should not be deleted from Firebase. So I think I could say whether when a request is declined, we should no. So here we could just say when a request is declined, we shouldn't show it to the items uh, owner anymore. The data should or the requests document should still be. Oh, but then we will not be able to test it, right? But then we won't be able to test it. Let's not implement it now, but we can probably implement it later. Or let's keep it like this. So we have a few requests from this guy. It says requested 10 minutes ago, but maybe we could say declined or show declined requests somewhere else. So here we could maybe say we should show it in a separated section in the requests dialog, so the organizer can see which requests have not been reviewed yet and which have already been declined, and so that the organizer can delete the requests resulting in deletion from the database if necessary. So we are being too descriptive of what exactly we want here. So the organizer should be able to see these requests, but if a request has been declined already, see them in a separate view, and then maybe approve it or delete it, so to say. So here is what it's trying to do. So it's going to make those changes. Let's see. Excellent idea. Separating pending, approved, and declined requests will make the management process much clearer for the campaign organizer. And then this is going to be implemented. So it's now is introducing a status field into the request data type. So we are which can be pending, approved, or declined. Then we also have the create request, which will set it to pending. Approve request will set it to approved. Decline request function that will set it to declined, and delete request will be updated to permanently delete or remove a request, likely a declined one. And then we have enhancing the request dialog, so it's going to update all of this to show things correctly. Now you can see how many changes that it did here, which if I did, yeah, we couldn't do it in this stream for sure. So let's have a look at here. So we have available here. If I go to the request now, here you can see pending. So this is pending at the moment. I could decline it, or I could delete it. So here it says decline request and approve. So here I'm going to say decline. Now you can see it actually came here, and my camera died also. I'm going to change my camera. Maybe we can use the other camera. So this one. Wait, it doesn't show. Why does, oh, because I have a cover over it. Let's see. There we go. And why is it showing it like this? Yeah. Wait. Okay. So yeah, here we have this as declined. So if I go to Mailinator, this is the email that we just got. Unapprove the request, you can contact them for more details, right? So now I cannot request it anymore because I already have the data, I think, there. So it says you have already requested this item, but I could go ahead and delete this now. And here it says declined, right? So I could delete this, and now they can request again. So if I go to Mailinator, I should not be having any emails more. Yeah, so no emails here. But if I try to request again, it should be able to send it. So if I send it now, there you go. So you can see now it is requested again as well. So what was it that we wanted to check? Now I'm losing my train of thoughts. So here we still have one request, and now you can see it is in pending now. So I could approve it, or I could decline it. So either of those options are available here. So now we can move to the one where we were talking about, okay, if there is if we have a situation where we are looking at the campaigns and we have to either refresh or not refresh it, then how do we implement that? So I'm gonna quickly try that as well. Give me 1 second. Let's put this battery here, and I'm gonna, yes, zoom in a bit as well. All right, so let's switch this back again. Okay, so yeah, so how do we go about this? By checking if a particular item is available or not, right? So here we have already an item that has been requested. Now we can say on both dashboard view and on the public view, if an item changes its state, we shouldn't be refreshing the page. I'm a bit skeptical about this one, because even if we are making this a bit nicer, it would cause some data from the users and maybe some performance considerations as well. But let's say the page should automatically reflect both in dashboard and public preview if an item is available or not, claimed etc. Okay, so we are adding this now. And then also maybe even if it gets some requests or not. So now you can see that the plan includes using on snapshot, as I said before as well. And this is why you, as a developer, you should have information on how you're coding if you really want to take your project to the next level. If you don't know all of these things, then things may go wrong and you won't have any idea what's happening there. By the way, for those of you who are interested in Angular, the book that I had is still on a discount on Amazon. So if you want to learn Angular and signals in the best way possible, this is the book to go. There are a few things that are coming to Angular as well. For example, we have signal based forms which are coming to Angular. We also have a few more things in line as well. So for example, we have resources as well, we have forms as well. Some APIs here and there are also being introduced. We have deep signal, or I think it was renamed to nested signal, and now it has been renamed to projected signal, if I remember correctly. So all of those things are going to be part of the book pretty soon, and it will be updated on a frequent basis as well. So make sure to get the book while you can. Okay, so let's see. So now it has refactored, I think. Oh no, it's actually checking for errors. So I will modify the components as display campaign and item data. So seller dashboard, seller campaign page, public campaign page, and request dialog. Instead of fetching data once, they will subscribe to live updates from Firestore. So now it's making those changes as we discussed. Okay, unsub campaign is not a function. So let's have a look at the issue itself. An application exception wire. Okay, so this is the one that we have. I'm gonna say fix this error. So unsub campaign is probably not a function that was added. Into a classic asynchronous programming issue, the unsub campaign is not a function happening because listen to campaign function is now async, as we configured in the last step. Makes sense. Okay, so now we probably have this fixed. We do have an issue here. Functions cannot be passed directly to client component and you use server, or maybe you meant to call this function rather than return it. Yeah. So we have an issue with the server itself, and it's probably doing it in the use effect where you have. Okay, so what was introduced here? Let's have a look. Set loading. So this is the functions, and then we have an async function here, which is listening to these components, and the unsub. Okay, and the await is here as well. So this should be okay. And then we have setup listeners, and then we are essentially running these as well. This looks okay to me, but what is the problem here? Okay, no functions have been passed here. It looks okay. Let's see. I'm gonna ask it to fix the error. I want to see what it fixes in this one. The functions cannot be passed to client. So what happened here? When a component that renders on the server tries to pass a function as a prop to a component that renders on the client. So we are conflicting two different things here. Since functions cannot be sent over the network, NextJS throws an error. Makes sense. After reviewing the code, identified that add item dialog component was receiving the on item added prop, which is a function. Although the function was empty, we had this error. Okay. So it still violates these rules. Okay. Since the page now updates in real time with the new listener, this prop is no longer necessary anyway. Okay, so it goes ahead to remove it. Kind of makes sense, but I do want to have a look at why this is loading. It could be that it got stuck into an infinite loop. So here still it says functions cannot be passed. So I'm going to clear this, reload this. Let's see what happens. So it's loading right now, but I don't think it finishes loading. Okay, so we got a console error. Okay, so we still are getting those errors. So let's quickly take a screenshot and pass it to Gemini. Still getting these errors. All right, let's see. Mm, let's see. The previous week did not catch all the instances of the error, so we got another issue somewhere. The functions cannot be for delete item if we pass the problem on the client component, which is this one, which is confusing, which can confuse NextJS. Okay, so we still have the same issue. Let's see. Let's see if I can find the error and its origin. No, it doesn't seem like it. Okay, we still have more instances of this. Let's see. Okay, after more thorough review of the component structure, it has identified something. The correct motor, each component responsible for or state in action. I will refactor the code to eliminate the problematic function props. So item card seller will move the view requests to directly inside the component, so it no longer needs to receive a function prop to open the dialog. I will remove the state management for the selected item. Okay. So it has made some changes, but I think still we have the same issue. But which place does it do the error? I'm trying to identify this as well. Mhm. And we are on the campaigns page, so it should be on this particular page. And we are passing the props somewhere. So let's see, app header, image, blah blah blah. Then we got the card content here. This was removed, but I think there is still more to this. Uh, so here we have this like on open change. I think this is the issue. Yeah. So it has detected an error. I think this open change is the problem. See, so it could not remove this one. Maybe that's the issue. Let's see. No, I think still we have this problem. Let's see if we can get out of this situation. Did it fix the issue that I saw, which was passing the function? So here you see it removed this particular line. But let's see. No, I can still see the same issue. Superseer 94, thank you so much for the follow. How's it going? Your beloved streamer, how's the stream going? Good, good, good. We are getting stuck into some issues and we are testing the limits of Firebase Studio to see how it can fix the issues coming in next year. So we have an issue where we are passing some functions to client components. So this function is uh, is a use client, right? And this time it has converted everything into use client, and I want to really see if that fixes the issue. No, so we still have some issues. There are some functions which are being passed, or there's some props which are being passed to the client side, which is interesting, and I want to both see and eliminate that issue. um I see you're really vibing the streaming. We just want to say hi and give a follow. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. I will be getting off in about 30 minutes. I'm gonna go with my kid to the park and let him cycle around a bit while I read some books. So I hope that we can fix these issues and then take it from there. The whole reason why we are into this issue at the moment is that we wanted to have it so that when we are on a campaign page or on a public page here, if someone has already claimed this item, we don't show that anymore. And on the dashboard as well, if anything changes, we need to reflect that change right away. So we moved from using like a one time data fetching on both of these components to rather a live updates mechanism, which is usually the on snapshot function from Firestore. So that's where we are at. I would let's try this once again. So I'm gonna share this again, and I'm gonna ask it to um, I would say first review the components and see which ones are client versus server. Then what functions are being passed as parameters. Then fix those. It seems like we are going in circles. So hopefully Gemini can find the issue this time. It has made a few changes, and then when this happens, when we have one single issue that is being fixed, and then we end up doing a lot of changes, that's when it's like the red flag for me, that okay, I'm not going to be able to track what's happening, and then I will forget, or I would have no knowledge on what it did, so I can't go and make changes to correct those things if need be. So right now we are on one single task and it has done a lot of steps. So we will see if it can fix this issue once and for all. So a few changes being made in the request dialog. So removed this function props, kind of makes sense, because I think what it's doing is like, okay, let's move every particular thing or every particular function to its own component, instead of having the functions being passed. Okay, so a lot of things have been removed. So use state is where which we still have the same issue. So uh, okay, we're still having this. Let's see what changed here. So dialog trigger, open, on open change. So at least these props, which are potentially the culprit here, they have been fixed. But I think still we're missing something that has been passed, but it's not being caught yet. Okay, so what is it doing now? When you write dialog trigger, the children, which often is a button, are passed to dialog trigger. If those children come from a different component, next-gen can still interpret it as passing a function like a component prop, which is okay. The definite fix is to move triggering element, the button that opens the dialog, inside the dialog component itself. This makes component truly self-contained and breaks. Okay, on paper it sounds like the right thing to do. So the request item dialog and the button would be put together. If those children come from a different component, NextJS can still interpret as passing function. Okay. This is the last and final change required to solve this error. I'm confident this will work and deeply appreciate your patience. I don't really think so. So we still have the same issue. Okay, I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna say, dude, what happened here? Or maybe just oops. Super Slayer says, by the way, when did you start streaming on Twitch? I've been doing it for a while. I'm not really consistent with the streaming, primarily because I have so many things that I'm doing usually. Some campaigns from Google, or when I say Google, I mean the Google Developers Expert program, which I'm a part of. I've been an acknowledged slash honored expert for this past 7 years. So there comes a lot of campaigns from Google, like AI sprint, build with AI, etc. So I'm usually working on those. I was also working on my book as well. So it's always some project here and there. So it becomes a bit harder for me to consistently stream. But I've been doing it for a while. I think maybe 3 years or maybe even more. Okay, let's see if it can find this issue. Or do I have to go in the code? Gemini, what's happening? Do you want me to go to the code? So let's have a look at this guy. Okay, so we are getting this particular error, and we are looking at component making the use server. We can't really trace back it further from here, it seems like. So we still have the issue. All right, I'm gonna say let's try once more. Seems like we are still passing some functions. Then we're gonna go into the pro code mode and see if we can code around and see which part is causing the issue. So the root cause is item card seller component. Okay, here's the problematic flow. Item card seller is a client component. It uses use client. Okay, the item prop, which is an object containing data like dates, is being passed as request dialog in each component. The problem is that the item object, which originates from a server side fetch and is passed down through components like date object for availability date field. JavaScript date objects are not serializable data type and can be passed between next is not plain object flag as violation, leading to the error we've been seeing. I don't think so, to be honest. I don't think that is the right identification. But let's see. Only data. Okay, I personally think this is not going anywhere. To be honest, it seems like we are in a place where we're just going with whatever it's trying to do at the moment, and it's clearly not working. Let's try to go to the pro code mode and see if we can get Gemini Code Assist to help us a bit more. Uh, and I'm here for merely 30 more minutes, so we'll try to make the most of these. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna sign in with Google. Okay, so now we are getting a bit different errors, which is interesting, so to say. Okay, so let's try to fix these issues then. Unsubscribe is not a function. Maybe it is because the accounts are a bit different. It could be. 3 issues. Hmm. All right, so we are getting these. Let's see. Um, let's get this one. I think even though this is not fixed, I think it's still nice because we have a different error. That means progress always. Let's fix this issue, Gemini. And this is right now using the built-in model, but we can actually go ahead and say use Gemini 2.5. So it's completely up to us, actually. Okay, so let's review the changes. What is it doing? So it's checking with the user ID, and then we get unsubscribe that looks like this. Okay, so let's update the file. Okay, did that fix the issue? Okay, so we still see the same thing, but now it's in the seller dashboard. So let's see if I can copy this. We getting this now. So now it's still looking at, but this isn't okay. Unsubscribe is not a function. Um, let's have a look at here. So this is unsubscribe, right? And it should be, if we have user, okay, maybe I have to code afterward. So if we don't have the user, then we return. Otherwise, we go ahead and we do this. So let's see. So we save this guy, and why does it say promise is not aware? Okay, this should be then. Oh, wait. No, that one essentially gives us the. Okay. So then we should go ahead and say await here. Can we not pass it? Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. So we have we can't have use effect having. Okay, so let's change this. We're gonna have to say this is gonna be a promise of void. What happened to this guy? So we have unsubscribe, which should have a promise, or so here it says promise void. Okay, my bad. Okay, and then we should have something like I don't know. And then we have this, which I don't personally like too much, but it's okay. So I'm gonna save this now. Let's refresh. 3 issues. Close it. What's happening? Okay, so saving, writing into file. Okay. And it's loading at the moment. It seems like. Okay, there we go. No, we don't go. So we still have an issue. Now we have that issue that we were looking at before. Okay. Let's see if I can try to ask Gemini here as well. Maybe let's go with the Pro. And we're going to say, hey, fix this issue, evaluate all instances where we could be passing functions, then fix accordingly. Let's see. So do we think we can finish this before the 20 minutes mark from now? And now since we are using the thinking model, which is 2.54, let's see if it can fix it. Super Slayer says, what are the goals you want to achieve on streaming? That's a good one. For me, it's mostly just sharing knowledge and yeah, sharing my experience getting more info from others, getting some ideas instead of doing it alone. So when I'm streaming, I can take ideas from the viewers, build cool stuff that people would use. I could also evaluate my ideas as well. So yeah, a lot of those things together, I think. Okay, so it did that. Okay. All right. Can you fix? I also want to see if when you're using the 2.5 Pro here, does it still support updating those or making the changes or not? Because with the built-in model, it does it. So let's see. But okay. So this one, it says indicates that a function is being passed from a server side, which is not allowed. This is often caused by async function that is simply written a promise, which can be misinterpreted. Aha. Okay, that could be. If we review the changes, let's see what it changed. So it removed the async functions from here. Ah, okay. So see, 2.5 is the one that actually figured out this is where the issue is and not in the other places. And we have been making changes there and not here. I hope that this issue gets resolved and then we have different issues. So we'll fix those when the time comes. But interesting. Okay, so the Firebase actions that we have right now, since we do this, you know, listen to request for item, this one was async. That's why it was having those issues. Mm. So now it can, okay, so now it can fix those. Oh, finally. Okay. I'm glad that it found the issue and hopefully we fix those. Now I'll examine the page TSX. So yeah, we have similar changes here. Yeah, here. So page, because when we were in the pro code mode, that's where that's no, when we were in the prototyper mode, that's where we had this issue. Kindly drop me your Discord username if you don't mind. I can share the Discord community link. You can always reach out there. Let's see if I can find. I try to have one-on-one discussions majorly on um LinkedIn. So if you want to reach out, I think that's probably the best place to be. Invite people, and I can share the link. So if you have, if you want to have a one-on-one, I would say LinkedIn is the best place because I am quite responsive there. I can show the link here as well. But otherwise, if you want to join the community, feel free to do so as well. Okay, so it's fixing those issues. I like where we are going with this, and I think we are going to be able to fix the issue. Okay, finally, I'll check the request dialog. I think that has the same issue, yeah, and found the user flag already correctly implemented. Okay, so I have now fixed all the instances. Okay, let's see. Let's see if that is in fact the truth. Okay, so we have better errors now. That's good. So let's try to figure this out. Uh, please fix this. I remove the async function from listen to functions. Okay, which from being passed to fix this properly, I need to restore the async keyword to the no, and then update user figure. But it's going now back and forth. It tried to fix that issue, but if it changes that back, then wouldn't we have the same issue? See, so if it Because if it brings this back, then I think we have the same issue. Personally, I think it's going to be the same issue. Uh, yeah, now we would have the same issue. Yeah. But wouldn't it result in the same issue as before? Let's see. Or are you fixing it in a different manner and not just reverting your changes? Let's see. Because we have to be really clear with what the intentions are here. If it's saying, oh, I had a fix, and that's why we are having this issue, let me revert that back. But then we have the same issue. So you're absolutely right. The question at my ability reverting the exactly. So I think then the thing should be that the listen to functions should not be a server function. Just use it as a client function, I would say. So now it's moving the actions, which are one time, should be async functions, and it's moving the listeners to the other file. I think this is probably something that makes much more sense. Okay, so now the client side listeners have their own file. Thank God. I will move the server action files to remove these listener functions. This will leave only true server actions in that file, and they will all be async as required. Good. That I like. Okay, so it's removing those functions from there, I think. Yeah, so this is removing the functions. Good job. And let's have a look at um let's have a look at other stuff as well. You said I sent you a friend request. Okay, awesome. Do you have a particular question that you want to ask, or what's up? So here we have listen to campaign, listen to items for campaign. So it's actually picking it from the right function now. Let's actually have this. And let's see. To use the new listener. Next, I'll do the same. Okay, let's have a look at this. So it's now updating that as well, which kind of makes sense. We do have a badge here. What's it doing here if it's not being used? But we'll fix that later. Statin variant. So a lot of changes have been made just because of that stupid change of putting the listeners into the save file actions, and that is why we have so much of a trouble. Let's review the changes here. So majorly this. Okay, so let's see, update the file. Okay, so let's see now. I'm going to reload and see if listen to campaign for user doesn't exist in the target module. So let's see as well. I'm going to quickly share this in the chat. We have this in a file where it's trying to get it from somewhere and it's not really there, which is probably here. Yeah, Firebase actions, right? So this should be listener. I mean, I could fix it myself as well. Well, let Gemini. Sorry, let Gemini do it. Update file. Okay, let's see. Ooh, it's taking its time. This is exciting. Okay, I'm gonna refresh. Hey, let's go. So we have this fixed now, which means we should have we should have the live updates now. Do we want to try now? So let's move to the prototyper mode and see it there, and then we're going to see it from here as well. Okay, so here are my campaigns. I go and I go in the manage campaign. This is available, right? So we have 2 requests now. Why does it say 2 requests? This doesn't make sense. I don't know why we have 2 requests there. But anyways, so let's say we go ahead and we say this is a pending request, right? I can't really request this again with the same Mailinator account. So I can go here, try it out, mailinator.com. And if I send, it's going to just say you already have a request there, hopefully. Right. So here you can say you already have a request there. I can then remove it. Now, what I can do is I can try to say, okay, I'm approving this request, right? If I say approve, then you can say this says approved, right? And something is going on here. Okay, so now this is approved now. And if I just close this, you can see this says claimed. Good. If I go back to my view here, I think I should have refreshed before, but I did not, which means that, yeah, now if I refresh now, it's going to say this is claimed. Okay. Okay, so this is a bit different from the other one as well. Previously it was just removed. Now we still show this. Now let's try to do this again. I'm going to go to request now, and here now I can say unapproved. If I say unapproved, ooh, now it says fail to unapprove request. Why does that happen? Okay, so here we have an issue. Unsupported field value. Okay, let's try to ask to fix those issue. It would have been awesome if we could also see which, I think in the prototyper mode, maybe we are using Gemini Flash instead of Pro. So let's see. You're free to classify right undefined value document which FISO doesn't allow. Okay. A simpler fix doesn't require importing delete. Okay. So what did it do? Let's have a look. What happened here? Did it remove all the actions? What? No, it did not. Okay. I was wrong. I was like, that's not a good thing to implement at all. Okay. So let's have a look at here. So we go here, we say unapprove. Okay, now it's an approving, and then also it's going into the pending state. So request unapproved. Here I can say congratulations. Previously it was approved. Now I don't see it anymore. So unapproved, which means here, okay, now I can request. So without refreshing the page, I can do it, right? I could try to do mailinator.com and send it. Okay, so already have requested this. That's good. Now if I go here and decline the request, that means it's declined. I should probably receive an email here as well. I see something, but then it goes away. I don't know why. Okay, so this has been declined now. Now you can see that this automatically got updated. And if I say delete, no requests. If I send a request, you can see that this has been request to or sent here. Now you can see without even refreshing, I have the request coming in. I can say approve. This got claimed. Okay, so everything is updating in real time. I don't have to refresh. This was a feature someone in the chat asked to implement, and now this seems like it's working. Now let's say pay and request. So if I go here, I can say test giveaway at mailinator.com, and for this offer, let's go to $2. I say send request. Now it has sent the request here. We automatically see the number here. This was 0 before. I can click this, and now the offer is 2, right? Now I can say approve or decline. Let's say I say approve. This should have sent an email to Mailinator, right? You can see just now here. If I click this, I say here, pay now. If I click this, here you can see the Stripe gift away sandbox. I could pay it with the link. So let's try this with the dummy information. So here we can say gift. Why is it not allowing me to type? Oh, okay, sorry. So this is the Stripe's default thingy, and then this, and then I can say gift away test. I could go ahead and say pay. No thanks. And now this has been paid. Now it took me to this particular page, which doesn't really show anything at all. I don't know. Oh, localhost 9003. No. So let's go back to the. Oh, where was it? Here. I'm going to duplicate this and let's go and say here, we're going to change this so we can see the notification, right? So this is a success page. Should I see a toast? No, it doesn't. Here it says pending payment, but I think it should have just said that the payment is done. So here it says payment pending, and I can, if I go to request, I can still say payment pending. Okay. So I can here say, once the payment is done, the status does not change. And it seems like the URL is wrong too. For example, here I can say, let's say, the link sent for a payment was this. Okay. It redirected to this. And then here we can put the link. Which was the link here? Okay. This. And what do we do? And when I went to the correct link, which could be different domain, which was this, it did not show a toast, nor it updated the request status from being pending. Okay, so this is something that we are going to continue later on. I have to go, and we'll take it from there. Okay, I have to go. I have to go and take my kid to the park, but we'll continue from there next time. So so yeah, thank you everyone who has joined the stream today. I'm gonna let it do its thing, whatever it's doing at the moment, and then we'll take it from there. I personally I think or I know that I need to implement and finish this so I can actually give away stuff that I have in my storage room. But yeah, we'll take it from there. So thank you everyone who joined, and I'm gonna see you next time. Take care, and as always, happy coding. I'll see you later.